today we are going to make one of my favorite summer cakes, which is called the lady finger cake. And here are the materials that you need. Let's begin this project by making the lady finger biscuit. So take your champagne colored polymer clay and roll it to a thin log. Using a dotting tool and sculpting tool, shape the clay by slightly pressing the edges down. Then use a cocktail stick or felting needle to create a texture on the side. Make the texture on the side more prominent than the center. Then use a toothbrush to give a light texture in front of the biscuit. And here are the individual biscuits that I made. Take your brown and yellow ochre, chalk pastel and mix them together. Use a small brush to add shadings to the outer edge of the clay. When you shade the clay, don't press too hard so that you will not lose some of the texture. You can also just dab the powder instead of brushing it. And here's how they look like after I shaded all the biscuits. For the cake base, I am going to use a scrap clay. And this is another project where scrap clay can be useful as long as you don't slice it. So here I rounded the scrap clay and used a round cookie cutter to slice the clay and create the base. For the cake, make sure that the cake is slightly shorter than the biscuits. Next, cover the sides of the cake with the biscuits. And if you want an extra hold, you can add a liquid polymer clay around the sides of the cake. And also, please be gentle in handling the biscuits, especially if you have warm hands, because the clay will get deformed easily. Afterwards, pre-bake and set them aside. So next, we are going to make a simple whole strawberries. So I simply roll a red clay to a ball and shape it like a strawberry. You can again use a cocktail stick or felting needle to create the dots around the strawberry. Then set them aside. For the whipped cream, I chopped white polymer clay and mixed it with liquid clay. If the mixture is still a bit hard, go ahead, add a little bit more of that liquid clay until you get the right consistency. Next, add the white clay on top of the cake and spread it all over to cover the scrap clay. Add more of the frosting to make it look fluffier. Next, I arrange the strawberries in the center of the cake, and of course you can arrange it however you like or even add a different fruit on top of the cake. For the garnish, I simply use a green polymer clay, roll it to a very thin log, making sure the end is pointy. Then I flatten it with my sculpting tool to form a leaf. I then distributed the leaves between the strawberries as well as the outside. Then bake them completely and let it cool. For the final touch, we are going to use a white chalk pastel for the powdered sugar. So add glue on the center of each biscuit and then sprinkle or roll it on the powdered white chalk pastel. And then, of course, shake off the excess so that it will not look messy. Thank you for watching this tutorial and see you next Saturday. Bye bye!